11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to do this show, talk about cryptocurrency news, talk about blockchain news, talk about stock and finance news a bit. Not a financial advisor. Do your own research, definitely. But if you like the content, you want to see more content, please do consider subscribing and smashing the like on the channel. The description links below. If you want to get into Bitcoin, you can learn and earn Bitcoin. You can learn more about Bitcoin and earn Bitcoin for free for shopping online with the Lolly browser app. I have a link for that in the description below on these videos, as well as storing Bitcoin safely with the Cash app. If you want to check those out, go ahead, check those out. In other regards, let's get right on to the news. So starting with the top cryptocurrencies, we got Bitcoin doing really well, up 3.52% today. So far, it's at $9,916. We have Ethereum, $312.56, up 9.87%. So Ethereum's kind of really making some meteoric rises, and what from my understanding is based upon the fact that there's DeFi, blockchain-based network software programs, companies out there that are going into decentralized finance, DeFi. So, which is the basis, and they're all being built on the Ethereum blockchain. Tether, stablecoin, 99 cents, pegged around $1, is down 0.15%, should be right at the dollar. XRP is at 21 cents, up 5.08%. Bitcoin Cash, $248, up 3%. Cardano, rounded out. I'm going to round these out. Cardano, 14 cents, almost 15 cents, 11%. Wow, Cardano's up 11%. Bitcoin SV, $189, up 3.03%. Litecoin, $48.49, up 2.35%. Crypto.com coin, up 15 at 15 cents, up 3.61%. And Binance coin, $19.61, and it's leveled flat. Looks like it's kind of making some a little bit of a downward trend. So that's what we got on the top 10 market cap. Going to the news, we got Cointelegraph. Why Bitcoin suddenly spiked to $10,200. So this is an article from Cointelegraph from Joseph Young. The price of Bitcoin abruptly surged to $10,200 as it liquidated $75 million worth of short contracts. The price of Bitcoin BTC rose as high as $10,272 on July 26th. That's today. An unexpected weekend rally. It liquidated $74 million worth of long contracts on BitMEX alone, catching many traders off guard. Hourly price chart of Bitcoin source. Oh, this is from TradingView. So look at that. It's like a massive surge and then a sell-off. I mean, I'm not sure how day traders really perceive that, or were able to grasp control of a day trading marketplace, or if they were able to sell off kind of profits at that high, or if it just really spiked that fast and kind of sold off that fast as well. If it was really tradable during that surge. I wasn't there watching it. So again, for me, it's about the block. I'm about the technology of blockchain technology, blockchain technology. I'm not so much about the price of Bitcoin, but the grasp and the concept of Bitcoin is what intrigues me and what I'm interested in. And smart contracts, Solidity encoding, smart contracts, Python coding contracts, and of the sort. Smart contracts and Bitcoin within a protocol and blockchain technology is what I am about. So that's not financial advice. Please do your research before looking into cryptocurrency. It's still a highly volatile market, as you can see right there, in correction. So there appear, comparatively to a stock market, there appear to be two main reasons behind the upsurge of Bitcoin from 9,700 to over 10,200. They are the liquidation of leveraged shorts and traders taking profit from overextended alternative cryptocurrencies altcoins. So I mean, people selling off their cryptocurrencies that have been rising up, especially I can probably talk about Ethereum and the DeFi recently from what we've been seeing in the news, and maybe selling off into Bitcoin. Bitcoin goes up, whales at the top holding Bitcoin, selling off. There it goes, making correction. Profit-taking patterns observed as Bitcoin spikes when the price started to rally. Major altcoins as well as well-performing DeFi tokens began to slump Ethereum declined from 322 to 311, and DeFi tokens, including AAVE and YFI, saw steep rejection. So I don't know what these tokens are. I'd have to really look into them. So the simultaneous rejections of major altcoins and price surge of Bitcoin suggest that traders took profit from recent altcoin rallies as traders moved their altcoin gains to Bitcoin. It possibly triggered a BTC uptrend while altcoins declined. ETH, as an example, rose from $247 on July 23rd to $322 on the day's peak, recording a 30% gain. Despite the strong sentiment around altcoins, investors are probably taking a more cautious approach by hedging their gains. The massive liquidations of short contracts. When Bitcoin initially broke over 10,000, it triggered over-ledgered short contracts to become liquidated. When BTC reached 10,200, it caused a cascade of liquidations to occur, totaling $74 million. Bitcoin has seen many phases when more than $50 million worth of short or long contracts gets liquidated. But for this to occur within a span of a few hours is less typical. The mass liquidations of long contracts at $10,000 also suggests that the $10,000 to 10,200 remains as a heavy resistance area. As soon as BTC hit 10,200, the price dropped below 10,000, marking a short-lived rally. So yeah, basically people had set market sells that, Bitcoin rose over 10,000. Someone who bought Bitcoin around 5,000 some months ago, even whatever recently, or day traders into Bitcoin, setting those automatic sell trades up at 10,000, take my profits off the table, and causing corrections on Bitcoin back down. Investors expressed optimism over BTC's near. That's what going long on Bitcoin. Someone who bought at 5,000, I'm going to go long to 10,000, make my 100% profit. Bitcoin hit that 10,000 mark. There we go. Investors expressed optimism over BTC's near short-term price trend as the price of Bitcoin recovered strongly in recent weeks. Some industry executives and investors expressed optimism toward BTC and ETH. In quote, "Are you ready?" Grayscale CEO Barry Silbert tweeted when Ether price broke out of the dreaded $280 resistance level on July 25th. Well-known trader Peter Brandt, meanwhile, expects the price of Bitcoin to hit a new record high and eventually make its way to 50,000, he said. I've heard that a lot. So take that with a grain of salt. That is actually where my head is at. Massive symmetrical, that's where my head is at. And so, in quote, massive symmetrical triangle in BTC points to all-time highs, then 50K. So, maybe you got a lot of, charters, people charting. What is Bitcoin? Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency. So I do have the chat going. So, if people have a question and want to ask a question in the chat, I go for it. Bitcoin is a technological store of value. It's based on binary code. It was the first cryptocurrency ever created. And it has a technology that overrides it called blockchain technology. But some variables could affect the short-term price trend of BTC price. First, the founding rate of Bitcoin is projected to be over 0.04% on BitMEX. That is nearly 4 times higher than the average funding rate of 0.01. It signifies that the majority of the market is taking a long position. So basically people are setting it and forgetting it, buying Bitcoin on a market like BitMEX or Coinbase or Gemini, and they are setting it to forget it basically at other sell ranges that are higher on the market level. For Ethereum's ETH token, the funding rate is hovering around 0.1%, which suggests that the rally is beginning to get overheated. In February, the ETH price rejected at 280 as its funding rate surpassed 0.2% when the overwhelming majority of the market was longing the asset. Second, $10,000 has acted as a key psychological level for Bitcoin since October 2019. I have noticed that. It's like I kind of called it when I thought Bitcoin would really drop down, around $5,000 when people taking profits off the table. And it broke to around 10,000 and crashed back down to around that range, even a little bit lower for a bit. And now we see it steeping back up. So, if BTC rejects at 10,200, which obviously it is, it's back to below at this time while I was reading the market caps on there. It's below 10,000 range right now. It would it would still be lower than the previous week in February 2020 at 10,473. Although it would be far-fetched to call it a lower high formation, it might show that BTC price has not cleanly broken out of the multi-month range. So the next article is BTC Flounders. This is kind of like someone's calling it 50K breakout, but maybe this article is more seeing BTC as a floundering price. So let's see what this says. Let's see if this is going to tell another story. Let's see. So this is from our Forbes, from Billy Bambro, writer. And I'll have all of these links in on the recap of this channel, all of the news links in the description. As Bitcoin flounders, the price of these smaller cryptocurrencies has suddenly soared. Bitcoin has been trading sideways since a supply squeeze in early May, though many other smaller cryptocurrencies have surged during that time. Obviously, we had, the halving of Bitcoin blockchain mining rewards just recently. The Bitcoin price has remained firmly under 10,000 per Bitcoin despite a raft of positive developments for Bitcoin and the wider cryptocurrency space. However, the likes of Chainlink, Cardano, Tezos, Stellar, and Ethereum have all soared, with some more than doubling in value in a matter of months. So again, that's why those cryptocurrencies go up. People holding those cryptocurrencies were going long all this time, selling off into BTC, BTC going up. People holding BTC for all this time, selling off their BTC. So if I were a person, it's not financial advice, but if I were holding cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, and I was making gains on it, I probably would sell off into BTC, but immediately watch the BTC rise, and I would have sold it off into USDT stablecoin, or maybe like Gemini dollar stablecoin, what have you, and held it there at a stable value for profits, because you don't really know which way the BTC is going to go at this time. So, these are some other articles. But Bitcoin has traded sideways since May, despite repeatedly trying to break above the psychological $10,000 per Bitcoin level. Meanwhile, Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency value after Bitcoin, has added almost 50% to its price during that time, pushed on due to a surge of interest in decentralized finance, what we call DeFi. I'll go into DeFi. I'll talk about DeFi on a future episode. So yeah, the idea that blockchain entrepreneurs can use Bitcoin and cryptocurrency technology to recreate traditional finance instruments such as loans and insurance. So we are seeing a lot more cryptocurrency loans and financing. Ethereum has been the main rails for some of the largest initial coin offerings, and most recently rails to the largest stable coins that have unleashed the DeFi wave. Philip, the chief executive of Bermuda-based stablecoin platform Stablehouse, said via email. Ethereum has been further boosted by the soaring price of Chainlink, a token that powers a decentralized network designed to connect smart contracts to external data sources and is built on top of Ethereum's blockchain. The value of Chainlink's token has more than doubled since early May, adding to its already massive gains over the last year. So I've heard about Chainlink a lot. I've looked into it. Never bought any Chainlink, but people have profited off of it. All right. Ethereum is one of those game-changing projects. Adam Trademan, So Ethereum is one of those game-changing projects. Adam Trademan, chief executive of cryptocurrency wallet BRD and maker of Blockset, an enterprise-grade blockchain data integration platform, said via email, "I can tell you, so in quote, I can tell you firsthand that Ethereum is the most requested chain, right up there with Bitcoin. That companies ask Blockset to support, likely due to capabilities of building private chains." So moving on. Kind of pop up all over the place. U.S. Health Department chief discloses functioning blockchain project to track COVID-19. This is from the U.S. government and U.S. Health Department. This article is from Jason Brett of Forbes. Hospitals adjust to new Health and Human Services, the HHS platform called Coronavirus Data Hub to report critical COVID-19 information. HHS Chief Information Officer Jose L. Arita confirmed that the agency is using blockchain technology to track COVID-19 hospitalization data. In an interview today, Arita, or Jose, I'll say Jose, stated how this will allow for faster clinical trials, protect citizens, and flatten the curve on this pandemic, so we can recover from this pandemic using blockchain technology, a distributed ledger technology. Earlier this week, he noted how the HHS Protect, a platform for authenticating data, and is more comprehensive than previously provided by the CDC. So this project, the HHS project, every day, every data element is received is hashed with a time-stamped record of the parsing and curation and sharing of the data element. Arietta, who is well known for championing the benefits of blockchain technology within the U.S. government, explained blockchain will enable the data for COVID-19 hospitalizations as accurate and traceable. Will ensure data is accurate and traceable. So he confirmed that blockchain, the blockchain system being used with HHS Protect is an enterprise version similar to those supported by the Hyperledger organization and companies such as IBM. As opposed to Bitcoin or Ethereum's blockchain, he declined to disclose the exact name of the platform. So that's what I was wondering when I first thought about this. Like, what blockchain technology are they using? I would think, even though they're not disclosing it, for some reason that stuck out to me. Hyperledger Sawtooth blockchain through IBM is, unless they're using their own distributed nodes, because it's obviously the government. So even something like using a publicly traded company like IBM is a little discrepancy based, possibly. So maybe they're having their own tech people, their own, in-house government, agencies making nodes, private, encrypted nodes, and a blockchain ledger of all their own that they're not even sharing about, and they don't really need to. That would be my guess. The blockchain HHS uses, the blockchain, uses is not the blockchain of the anarchists and disruptors. Well, that's a brash kind of statement, but all right. Bitcoin and Ethereum is not about anarchists and disruptors, if in an appropriate base of a corporate world, right? But anyways, he has his own opinion, but rather as a fresh step forward where thousands of users on the platform are accessing data sets. This person stated, according to the CIO, the HHS project coordinates data from 6,200 hospitals across the United States, including numbers of ventilators, hospital beds, ER admittance, and discharge lab data across the U.S., warehouse implications, and nursing home data. So, as a result of using blockchain technology with the HHS project, the U.S. government can now, as this person explained, share with the general public how the results were generated because you have a record that is immutable. Exactly how this would be accessed is unclear. That's what I'm wondering. If they're not even talking about the blockchain, if they don't have a blockchain tracker because they're not talking which blockchain platform they're using, I'm not sure how we're going to access that data. Or are they just going to say, hey, here's the publicly hashed data on our blockchain that we hashed out in our nodes. So he added, science is about proving something and then sharing the steps of how you proved it. Creating timestamp in an immutable record is truly empowering and allows for complete transparency from a data perspective. He said, noted blockchain technology will enable HHS to allow clinical trials faster, protect citizens better, and allow the country to recover from this pandemic. Asked if he believed if he believed the move of COVID-19 data from the CDC to HHS with the data protected by blockchain technology could provide more comfort to Americans about accuracy of data provided. He responded, absolutely, this is extremely important. Americans now have a public record of how the data was received, and with timestamp steps where people have access to the data elements, it's important to note that the CDC, HHS providers, and the American public are able to see the data element as the exact moment it was shared as a result of blockchain technology. So this kind of article goes on for a bit, but you get the point. Using blockchain technology for enabling COVID-19 rates being hashed onto a blockchain ledger. So that's the point of blockchain. That's kind of what I was interested in this article about. Is I don't have to read through the rest of it, but the point is that blockchain technology uses what's called algorithm of hashing, a string of, based from binary coded numbers compiling together to hash out a string of alphanumeric numbers, and that number can be boiled down to a public address from what the TX was, or the transaction. So the transaction of the ledger that was encrypted onto the blockchain is a ledger of how many COVID-19 cases were tracked, how many COVID-19 deaths occurred, and as an accurate stance. So where they're sourcing this data from, I don't really know, but blockchain is what they're using it for, which is what interests me. Another application of using blockchain in a real world scenario. That's the point. So this is from CoinDesk. I talked about the Ant Group last episode. You can go into that and check out that episode about the Alibaba Ant Group from Jack Ma. And this goes on about the Ant Group, Ant Chain, a blockchain. We're going to talk more about another blockchain here. So this is from CoinDesk, from Patty Baker. Ant Group claims 100 million digital assets are uploaded to its blockchain daily. Ant Group has claimed to its clients are uploading an average of 100 million digital assets to its blockchain every day. The Alibaba affiliate company made the claim in a release Thursday that announced Ant Blockchain was rebranding to Ant Chain. An Ant spokesman later told CoinDesk these were mostly transaction records as well as copyright and property ownership certificates. A spokesperson said they were unable to provide historic operational data for the quiet period in the run-up of its initial public offering IPO. Chinese shipping giant Costco said it was trialing Ant blockchain earlier this month to distribute tamper-free documentation such as container records and import license. So there we go. We got a massive company, Costco, using Jack Ma's, the CEO of Alibaba. I thought he actually stepped down from Alibaba. I'm not sure. I have to really look into that. But I thought earlier last year he did. I'm not sure. Trialing Ant blockchain. So Jack Ma is behind this. I will say that much, along with other, corporate executives. The company now claims to be the largest. So I will say this: if no one knows what Alibaba is like the Asian Amazon of the Indian Ocean region and like that. But even people in the U.S. and Canada and Europe can use Alibaba for services. I find Alibaba is really good if you are like basically a person who's running an e-commerce marketplace, buying products in large amounts of bulk, and or a retailer, with retail stores or some businesses like that, to use Alibaba for buying in bulk of certain products and selling in e-commerce. So it's kind of like the bulk buying of wholesale of type Amazon deal, but also has retail as well. It's an interesting platform. The company now claims to be the largest operating blockchain in China. Ant Chain will combine blockchain with Ant's other emerging tech offerings, including artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things. The company also launched Ant Chain Station, a tool enabling enterprise clients to deploy on Ant Chain in under an hour, down from 10 hours previously. Wow. All right. I mean, I can deploy on other blockchains in a matter of seconds, so under an hour. Maybe it's a little more corporate. Maybe it's a little more centralized, where they're kind of really looking to see what's going on there. I would have to look into Ant Chain more. The spokesperson refused to be drawn on how many new clients they expected to onboard with Ant Chain Station, citing quiet period. Ant Group said this week it was planning an IPO on the Shanghai and Hong Kong Stock exchanges at a rumored $200 billion valuation. If it goes through, Ant Group would arguably become the largest companies operating in the blockchain space. So that's definitely for sure. And if that hit the U.S. markets, in the U.S. stock markets, as a blockchain tech company and having an IPO, this Ant Group that has Ant Chain behind it, maybe it's a stock to look into, most definitely. So I'll keep track of it. If I find any information, I will look up information for the next episode on an IPO hitting the U.S. for Ant Group, if it's going to even touch the U.S. or European or Canadian markets and stock trading platforms like the NASDAQ. So yeah, so that's about the Ant Group. So this is from Reuters. Reuters. China imports more oil from Saudi than any other country in June. So I'm kind of breaking away from blockchain, and we're going to talk about a little bit about some finance and kind of market trade data from China, and also a little bit about some political aspects. Sometimes I'll talk about stocks. Sometimes I'll talk about political finance and international trade. So this is from Business News and Reuters. Who wrote this article? Let me see. I'll see if I can find the article writer on this. But China imports more oil from Saudi than any other country in June. Beijing Reuters. China crude oil imports from Saudi Arabia rose 15% in June from a year ago as refiners record record volumes of the fuel in March and April when oil prices tumbled, cementing the kingdom's position as the top oil supplier in China. And that's nothing new to me, most definitely. Saudi Arabia being the, having that like that. Imports from Saudi Arabia rose to 8.88 million tons in June, or 2.16 million BPD in June, according to the data from the General Administration of Customs on Sunday. That's today. That was in line with May's. So just so you know, some places, they're already about hitting 12 hours ahead of us over there. So it's almost Monday. So that was in line with May's volume, well above 1.89 million during the same period last year. The record imports follow a price war between Saudi Arabia and Russia, the world's top oil exporters, during March and April when the coronavirus pandemic dampened demand and caused a global fuel glut. So maybe they found it as a time of, fuel is really cheap. They need to dump this oil off. It's not selling. Airlines aren't flying. Places are shut down. We need, prices drop. So maybe that caused a trade war between, China and Russia, really trying to buy up as much oil as possible because they're going to be profiting off of it for who knows how long after, economy starts to open back up for things like flying, travel, and industrial production that's based upon oil. Shipments from Russia were at 7.98 million tons last month, or 1.95 million barrels per day. So that's what BPD is, up around 7% from 1.82 million BPD in May and 1.73 million BPD in June 2019. So that's a year ago this day. Saudi, however, delivered bigger oil cuts from June and raised crude oil prices as a plunge in oil prices weighed on the kingdom's budget. So, that could also, so maybe that kind of balances out a little bit. Oil is not really getting cheaper. They're going to they want their money, what they want for it. They're going to raise the prices based upon lower demand for it. I'm getting that right. China, the world's biggest, what it seems. China's the world's biggest crude oil importer, took in a record 53.18 million tons last month, according to customs data. China also boosted inflows from Brazil, Norway, and Angola, said Emma Lee, analyst from Refinitiv. And this article, Brazil, whose massive offshore projects are coming online, offered Asian refiners competitive deals on a relatively high quality oil, just as China and other Asian countries contained coronavirus and reopened their economies. Analysts expect China to see another record amount of crude oil imports in July, as some May loading cargoes are still underway, while swelling oil inventory at major Chinese ports slow new arrivals. Okay, so that's from this article. So that's about, China imports more oil from Saudi than any other country in June this past month. Now we got Republicans and Democrats can move quickly on U.S. coronavirus relief bill. Ted Muchin says, right? Muchin, yeah. This article is from Reuters as well, from Doina Kaiku and Valerie Volkovich. Well, yeah, I'll say Valerie. I'm not trying to butcher your last name. Washington Reuters. President Donald Trump follows Trump's fellow Republicans in the Senate are set to unveil a $1 trillion U.S. coronavirus bill on Monday. That is tomorrow. Based upon, right now I'm in New York City time, East Coast New York City time in the U.S. So From tomorrow, that includes reduced federal unemployment benefits, with Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin saying he believes they can work with Democrats to move quickly on the legislation. Oh, Steve, I thought it was that Steve Mnuchin. I don't know. Senate Republicans and White House officials are scrambling to hammer out an agreement on the proposal, which hit snags after Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had announced plans to introduce the measure last week, with enhanced federal unemployment benefits due to expire this Friday. That's obviously already occurred. Mnuchin and White House Chief and Staff Mark Meadows made weekend visits to Capitol Hill to meet with Republican Senate leaders on the legislation. So the bill will be introduced Monday, and we're prepared to act quickly. This is all about kids and jobs. This is our focus, and we want to make sure things get passed quickly so that we deal with the unemployment and the other issues, Mnuchin told the Fox News Sunday program. So that's today, obviously. The most pressing issues are the soon-to-expire enhanced unemployment benefits, currently $600 a week, and the liability protections from coronavirus-related lawsuits, Mnuchin said. I'm not sure if that he's talking about from last Sunday or this Sunday, but because obviously this is already expired. The $600 a week. So Republicans say they were looking for an extension of unemployment benefits that replaced 70% of a person's wages before they lost their job. Mnuchin said on Saturday the Trump administration supporters extending enhanced unemployment benefits until the end of the year, but at a reduced level. Meadows, a former Republican member of the House of Representatives, said he and Mnuchin would be back at Capitol Hill on Sunday, that's today, putting the final touches on the bill. I honestly see us being able to provide unemployment insurance, maybe a retention credit to keep people from being displaced, Meadows told ABC this week. Democrats control the House and Republicans control the Senate. That's just the way the body makeup is right now. The coronavirus pandemic has hammered the U.S. economy and triggered large increases in unemployment. Congress is working toward passing the latest in a series of bills in response to the pandemic. The House approved Democratic-backed legislation in May, but the Senate has not yet acted. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi has rejected any short-term extension on the federal enhanced jobless benefits, putting pressure on Republicans to offer their proposal. So what really is going on here is having a lesser stimulus check with the same $600 a month unemployment benefits, or a lesser amount of federal unemployment stimulus with a higher stimulus check. So that's kind of what we're going to be seeing balancing out here before probably the end of this coming week, next business week. The House approved so we can move more quickly with the Democrats on these issues. We've moved quickly before, and I see no reason why we can't move quickly again, Mnuchin said. And if there are issues that take longer, that we'll deal with those as well. That's the end of this article as well. Let's go what we got going on in the news today. And again, I will have all of these articles in the description link below on the recap. You can find it in the blockchain tech and finance news section on my channel KinToshi here. If you like the content, you want to see more of it, please do subscribe, smash the like, turn on the bell notifications. And again, in the description below, like I go about blockchain technology and Bitcoin. If you want to learn about Bitcoin, you don't necessarily don't understand, but you want, if you're into stock and finance, again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. Take caution. Only do what's comfortable to you. But in the link, the description below, I have Lolly. So what Lolly is a browser app plugin for your desktop browser like Google Chrome that you can use and shop at your favorite brand retailers like Oakley, Microsoft, gaming products. And while you do that, you activate the blockchain. You activate the Lolly browser and you earn Bitcoin, a blockchain-based cryptocurrency, for free for your purchases on your favorite brands. So you can check that out below. Then you can store it. I have another link below on Cash App. You can store Bitcoin safely in the Cash App. So check those out. And again, I will be back next Sunday with more cryptocurrency, blockchain, tech, and finance news. Ciao.